This is Minutina. It's a unique salad green. I'm gonna show you how to grow it. Let's go. So this here is Minutina, otherwise known as herba Stella. It is a great, super crisp salad green that tastes kind of buttery and salty. It's something that not a lot of people really try growing because many people have never even heard of it. You can actually pick up the seeds at MIgardener.com. Not sure how many more is left in stock, but you can definitely get it there and other places as well. But it's a beautiful salad green that grows up like a grass, so you can grow it very closely together. And also another thing is it's very cold hardy. These can be sown in early spring. We started these early indoors so we could move them outdoors because we weren't sure how well they would germinate. We germinated some just over a couple rows of radishes by seed, and they actually have caught up to these. So either start them from starts or start them from seed, really does not matter. They both grow about the same pace once you get them into the ground. And also, if you want to start growing them, make sure to get a nice, nutrient-dense, rich in organic matter soil. They are a salad green, so they are mostly greens, and so their primary focus is to produce leaves. And for leaf production, you need lots of nitrogen. So what we've done is we've got this beautiful compost here, just absolutely rich, black, luscious compost. And that is the primary base for what they're growing in. That gives them the aeration, the looseness, the organic matter that's needed to grow. And then we followed up with some Trifecta. Trifecta Plus gives them the nitrogen that is so essential to keep them growing, keep them green, because you will find that because they're not actually a lettuce, they will begin to focus on flower production. And so by keeping them healthy and by keeping the soil cool and planting them early in the season, it's actually going to prevent them from bolting, and you're actually going to get way more leaf growth. Now, another thing that's interesting is that the more you cut, the more they'll grow. So they're a lot like, they're a lot like some of your other crops, like lettuce or beans. The more you harvest, the more you get. So they will they will actually appreciate a nice cutting. Even at this stage, we'll come through here and we'll trim off some of the leaves, because what that does is it reroutes energy and sends it back more in the form of more leaves. Another thing is that we give them what we give all of our other plants. As far as sunshine, these beautiful plants here will get about 4 to 6 hours of sun, and that's in early spring season. If they go a little bit longer into June and July, they're going to start getting around 7 to 8 hours as the sun moves around the tree and the house that is putting some shadow over this bed here. And that's why we put them in this bed, because they are an early spring crop, so they do prefer the cooler weather, and that hot sun is going to cause them to bolt. So obviously having them in a place that gets about 4 to 6 hours of sun is really great and ideal for ideal conditions as far as sunlight goes. Now, in terms of watering, they get just the same amount of water that anything else in the garden does, which makes them very easy to take care of. When we water our lettuce, they also get some water. When it rains, obviously they get some rain too. They're not too particular. They just like to make sure they do have some moist roots. Because they're an early spring vegetable, oftentimes people kind of forget that they are geared for those moist conditions, meaning that they'd rather not dry out if possible. So we make sure to water them once, twice a week. If it doesn't rain, maybe 3 times a week or so, just to make sure the soil stays nice and moist. But I wanted to go back to the flavor, because I think it's a really interesting flavor profile that a lot of you will really enjoy. The first thing you get is there's no bitterness. These are so they're very succulent. If you've ever had like purslane, it's very reminiscent of purslane. It's kind of a sweet, slightly salty, very slightly salty, kind of nutty flavor. Definitely not something like a lettuce that can get bitter or gets kind of milky as it matures. These stay very, they actually stay very succulent. Another thing too about these that's interesting is that they actually will provide salt content. So for those of you that are trying to go low sodium, these will actually flavor your dish. You don't have to add any extra salt. So if you're if you're sauteing them up, throw them in with some spinach. This alone is going to provide the salt content that your body does need in small quantities that are important to have. So we love these in our foods. We add them to salads. We'll add them as like a kind of unique garnish to some dishes. But our primary focus is to get them in our salads because they're just greens that not a lot of people are growing. And also, another thing that's really cool is that these are what you kind of consider like an artisan blend. So if you're someone who grows for market, by growing a couple of these, by throwing them into your salad mixes, it's going to add different textures, which are so important to the tongue and the mouth feel that you get when you're eating. Makes you want to come back for more. Makes you say, wow, you know what's that interesting flavor, that interesting texture? I can't get enough of it. I really enjoy it. So that's why we love it. It's just a real cool, interesting thing that just adds great flavor to dishes. And so it's something that we definitely will be growing from now on, permanently in our garden. Now the next thing is pH. What's really nice about Minutina or herba Stella, there's two names, but we call it Minutina, is that Minutina does not mind pH of above 7 or below 7. So it can be a little bit alkaline, a little bit acidic, it really won't matter. As long as it's not too acidic or too alkaline, it's gonna do fine. So we have it in compost here, which is a pH of 7, and that is great. It's gonna do awesome here, and it's definitely loving its home. And the final thing that I wanted to talk about is fertilizing. What makes this stuff great, much like your lettuce, is that since it's such a fast-growing, fast-maturing crop, around 45 to 50 days, you really do not need to fertilize. And so this makes it much like lettuce. And so if you are growing lettuce, get some seed and throw it next to your lettuce, put it into your lettuce, make a salad mix with your seed and just spread all the seed around because they really do grow almost identical to lettuce, but they are just so flavorful, so unique to lettuce that they, I had to make this complete growing guide separate from our lettuce growing guide, which by the way, you should check out if you haven't checked it out already. But it is just so awesome. It's so carefree. They grow great. They do not take a lot of effort at all. So even you with brown thumbs out there, you can grow this plant. I recommend it. It's awesome. So hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. Make sure to check out our other complete growing guides if you have not yet already. Share this video with a friend if you did enjoy it. Make sure to click that like button and also subscribe if you're not already, because that lets you know when we upload more videos. So I'll catch you all later. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something new. And as always, Luke from the MIgardener channel. See ya. Bye.